We are looking at Emma's butterfly above water from the side, commentary by Coach Chris. We're going to let this run at full speed so we can kind of see the live action timing of it. Good streamline, everything I expect. So, you are doing a lot of the stuff we talk about and work on really right, and I really like your butterfly. Remember, one of the things we really talk about is that head timing and making sure it doesn't break down. Now, in this video, we're not really doing enough distance fly or hard enough fly for you to get tired enough to where we're going to see it break down, but we're definitely seeing it that you know what you're doing. So here you are, breathing early, getting that head down to get those hands in. So really good job on that. That's what we talk about all the time. The head timing, especially for the 100 fly, especially when you get older for the 200 fly, the head timing is the thing that breaks down the stroke. If you keep that head timing right and keep it in the right place and keep the breath in the right place, you'll have tons more energy at the end of your stroke, and you'll do a much better job resisting the fatigue and resisting the breakdown of the stroke. So that timing is great. Remember, if you need to dial it in, we do the one-arm fly drill for that, the single-double drill for that, and that's something that you need to make sure you're using as you warm up that butterfly. It's a great drill to help get that timing down on the head and get it where you want it when you're warming up. But that stroke's really, really good. That head's coming up really, really early. So that's everything we talk about. That's what we want to see. Look at how early that head is. Right at your head's up, you're starting that breath right at the end of the sweep of that pull, and then on that push phase, you're finishing that breath, and then as you start the recovery, the head's getting down. It doesn't get much better than that timing-wise. Now, doesn't mean your stroke's perfect, okay, because now we can focus on a little bit more of the serious details. So, as we sweep out, you're sweeping out, pushing out a little more to the sides, not straight back. Remember those Michael Phelps posters where his hands are almost straight behind him? He's getting narrow, pushing through. His hands are exiting almost right next to his hips. He's not pushing out at that outward angle. And that's because he's using that very end of the pull to keep driving forward. And that keeps him having maximum velocity over the water at this phase. Your hands are just slightly pushing out and away from your body as you start that recovery. And we want to lengthen that out and go straight out the back. The second thing that we can work on is right here. So if you look at your wrist is really bent. You're leading with the wrist. Your arm's relaxed, but this is a really twisted position, and especially as you start recovering. You see how that wrist is still hooked on both arms? Once you get out over your head and you have that wrist cocked like that, you are twisting a bunch of the muscles in your shoulder and arm, and what that means is your butterfly is going to feel great and your arm's going to feel rested when you're early in a race, but at the end of that race, those shoulders, those neck, those arm muscles are going to start getting real tired because that extra twist doesn't feel bad at first, but it's putting extra strain on those muscles on the top of your stroke, and that is just going to make you fatigue faster, and it's going to make that stroke break down worse. So, why is this happening? Well, you're doing a great job of having your pinky up and thumb down. But the way you're getting that pinky up and thumb down is you're focused on your wrist. So when you think of moving your arm, when you think of sweeping your arm across the surface, you're thinking of the hand and wrist area. That's what your mind is focused on. So when you think about what you're moving, you think you're moving your hands, and you're not thinking of moving the whole arm or another part of the arm. So I'm going to give you a little secret on the recovery part of the stroke that the top flyers think about, that the top freestylers think about, that everybody thinks about. Top level swimmers don't focus on their hands when they're thinking of their recovery. They don't. That's not what their mind is moving when they're moving their body. They're not moving their wrists. They're not moving the hand. They're not twisting the hand. They're not doing anything with the hand. What is a good flyer thinking of? freestyle thinking of on that recovery? The elbow. The elbow. I don't move my whole arm. I move the upper part of my arm from my shoulder to my elbow. If that moves the way I want it, I'll have the recovery I want. So don't think about getting the pinky up anymore to the ceiling. Think about getting the elbow pointed up towards the ceiling. Think about moving the elbow in that sweeping pattern. The rest of the arm, you just focus on keeping straight, but stop focusing on what your hands are doing. Relax the hands. Just let them stay in line with your forearm. Just one solid piece. From the elbow to the fingertips, just one relaxed solid piece. And then twist those elbows up towards the ceiling and keep them up that way as you sweep across the water. But don't focus on the hand so much, focus on the elbow. If you can control that part of your body and start moving that part and let the hand just kind of go with it, you're going to have a much better recovery. You're going to have those hands flatten out more on that recovery. They're going to stay more relaxed, and you're going to get in a better position, and you're not going to break down that fly quite so much. But the same secret works for freestyle, not just butterfly. You want to pull that arm through, and when you go up for that recovery, whether it's straight arm or bent elbow, whatever it is, the good swimmers don't think about the hand, they think about the elbow. They're bringing the elbow up high, and that gets the arm up high. Same thing for backstroke. You're not trying to bring, and we talk about thumb out, pinky in to help kids understand, but if you watch good backstrokers, they're not thinking with their thumb and pinky. Again, they're thinking with their elbow and rotating their upper arm, and you only do that if you control which way the elbow is facing. So for you on a butterfly, you're doing a great job, perfect sweep, straight arm sweep, but to get in that more natural, rested, relaxed position on it, try to think about keeping your elbow up to the ceiling as you sweep and recover. That'll keep you focused on the whole arm and not just the hand. And if you're thinking about that hand, thinking about that pinky and thumb, you're going to have that bent wrist because you're going to be leading with the wrist. So focus on the elbow. That's kind of the secret to fixing this thing. But at your level of development, this is super common. And everything else with the stroke above water, including the breath, is perfect. And that's one of the main things we're working on. So let's look at the stroke from the side below the water and see what else we can see.